Hello, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Today I'm taking some new goblins for spin in standard best of one. Lorwyn Eclipsed obviously gave us a bunch of new tribes, kindred creatures, whatever you want to call them, and goblins was definitely one of them. And I know a lot of people have been experimenting with goblins. Similarly, I have thrown together my first iteration of what I think goblins should look like in standard, and I want to show it to all of you today. So we are kind of building around the idea of pinging the opponent with our goblins. We are not making our goblins nice and big like I would in a normal tribal deck where I'm getting a lot of +1/+1 synergies. Instead, we are using cards like the Boggart Cursecrafter, a 2/3 black and a red goblin death toucher. It says whenever another goblin you control dies, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. So we're going to get to drain our opponents out. We're also playing Boggart Mischief. It is an enchantment, 3 CMC. When this enchantment enters, you may blight 1. Cool. If you do, create 2 1/1 black and red goblin creature tokens, and whenever a goblin creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Here is another Blood Artist type effect. So with these 2 cards, we're going to be able to drain our opponents out when our creatures attack in and are blocked, or if we are able to just kill our own creatures. We're also trying the Hexing Squelcher. I see a lot of goblin decks these days, but very few of them are playing the Hexing Squelcher. On the recommendation of a friend, he encouraged me to put this one in this deck, and I think I agree with this. It's a 2/2 for 2, fantastic. This spell can't be countered, and spells you control can't be countered. Other creatures you control have ward 2, and this is also ward pay 2 life. I like the pay to life because what ends up happening is our opponent has a lot of spot removal in the format these days. Our opponents do, and they're going to be taking a lot of just chip damage by trying to remove some of our creatures. So we are draining them with the Mischief, we're draining them with the Cursecrafter, and then we're also going to be draining them down with the Squelcher. Then we have just creatures that are going to probably die or be annoying for the opponent. So the Mud Button Curse Tosser, these names are fantastic, is just a really good 1 CMC creature. It's a 2/1 for 1. Fantastic. We do have to behold a goblin. Not going to probably be a big deal. And it can't block. But when it dies, it's going to destroy a creature with power 2 or less. So we might be able to get some cubs. Maybe sometimes when we are able to get rid of this creature, we can always kill it ourselves with the Mischief by Blight 1 onto the Curse Tosser. Then the Fanatical Firebrand is another goblin that we can just sacrifice on our own, so we can attack in with it on turn 1. It's chipping in on the opponent. Then we can sacrifice it. It deals 1 damage to any target. Then it's going to trigger, of course, our Mischief and also our Cursecrafter. And similarly, Stadium Headliner is going to be a creature that we can also sacrifice on its own. We can use it as removal. We can also use it for its Mobilize. Now, the Mobilize is a little unfortunate because it's going to be creating a warrior token, not a goblin token, but it's still a creature that's going to be dying. It's going to be a creature that we can use in various ways. For example, if we put this out and we don't want to kill anything, we can put the Blight 1 onto the warrior token because it's going to die no matter what after combat. Then we're going to be making a few more goblins with our Seer Slicer Goblin because of the raid ability. This one is creating goblin tokens, so we get to go a little bit wide. And then we have our Lords, and our Lords are a little bit weird. We have the Howl Squad Heavy. This thing is going to be giving all of our goblins haste, which cool, and it's also going to be pumping out 1/1s. Then we get to Krenko, and when Krenko's on the field, when we have a heavy on the field, we can automatically or right away tap it down, create a whole bunch of X1/1s. We get to attack in with them. If our opponent chooses to block, well, they're going to probably be losing damage or taking damage to our Mischief or our Cursecrafter, or they're just going to be taking damage from the 1/1 goblins that are swinging in. So that is the idea behind the deck. I think Goblins is one of those tribes that has a lot of work that needs to go into it right now. I think people need to experiment to see where what the best combination of cards is going to be in the end. But I think there's definitely something here, and we're going to try it out, see how it feels in this first week of Lorwyn fun. See you over in the games. All right, goblins in standard. I'm actually very excited to play some goblins in standard because I like goblins. Goblins are a tribe that kind of has a very big place in my heart. It's one of those very, like most Magic players, it was one of those first sets that I experienced, or not sets, first decks that I experienced. I played it right away in Modern. 8 Whack Goblins, very cool deck. And more importantly, I remember paying an absurd amount of money for my, oh, now I'm forgetting what they're called. The 1 CMC 2/2 Goblin that has haste, and oh my god, I'm forgetting what it's called. But I paid like between $40 and $50 for each of those goblins, and oh boy, that was pricey. So our opponent is ramping into something with this shared roots. We're gonna keep attacking in. Do I go full ham with the stadium headliner as well? You know what, whatever, sure. If our board dies, we are going to be doing 6 more damage to the opponent, so they kind of need to wipe us this turn. If they don't wipe us this turn, we are probably going to win no matter what. Yeah, I think we just have it now. So no matter what happens, anything they block is going to deal 2 extra damage to them. It's just bad news. Let's just do this. Boom. We'll blast the Mutable Explorer. They have 1 open mana, but it's not good enough. We're going to get in for a lot of damage. 9 damage. 10 damage, actually. And so, yeah. No, sorry. 8 damage. I forgot this guy has Summoning Sickness. And that is a pretty good start. Of course, the opponent didn't really do a whole lot. They played out a ramp plan with the Shared Roots and the Mutable Explorer. But, hey, Goblin's getting off to a nice aggro start. All right, so I think I'm debating on what I want to do with the last game. The last game was against the Lessons deck, and the game in ways was very interesting. However, oh, I was meant to play that. That's okay. In ways, it was very interesting. In other ways, it's a horribly long game. It's like probably 15 minutes of the opponent drawing their entire deck down to 1. You know what the Lessons decks do. So I think I might end up cutting that game. It was a loss for me. It was a very close win, but unfortunately the Lessons deck does exactly what it does. And I rambled on about the absurdity of what is going on in the Lessons decks or with the Lessons decks. I think I might clip that out as a bonus video and just throw that up as like a side video. So yeah, I think that's what I might do. If you're interested in seeing that specific game, I'm gonna cut it and you can see, honestly, a Lessons deck do something that was kind of cool. Yeah, do that. What do we do here? Do we do the Tosser plus the Cursecrafter, or do we put out the Boggart Mischief? I think it's gonna be this way. But I don't want to put it in this video because honestly, it was it took way too long, and it was just my opponent drawing cards, cycling cards, drawing cards as it was. But in the video, I think it was the start of that video. That video was so long. I talked about my Goblin Guide collection. I don't know if that was in the second video that I talked about, the second game, or the third game. I think it was actually in the second one. Hey, look, Goblin Guides again. I love them. Goblins are fun. But I wanted to mention that just in case. That was part of the third video. Honestly, that game was so long that everything has become a blur, and I don't know what's happening anymore. But it's fine. We're gonna move past it. I'm gonna cut that one out, and we're not gonna worry about Lessons decks. We're gonna put that up as another video you can go and watch if you want. Okay, the opponent is playing Kavaro, but they're playing a different type of Kavaro. Something interesting. So we are definitely going to attack in with the entire crew, but I think I probably want to put out the Mischief first. The Mischief is going to allow me to do a little bit more damage. Yeah, let's just do that. So we will... I guess I just put out the Mischief and I kill the Curse Tosser. Are you going to... Do they counter it? Do they play Spell Pierce? That would be wild. No, they probably have Hex. Hex, there it is. So people are playing Hex. Boom. And let's just do that. We'll murder the Oblivious Bookworm. We get a couple of pings on the opponent's face, and we get to get in for 2 damage with our Cursecrafter. And we finally get this Blood Crypt onto the field. That was supposed to be on the field a couple of turns ago, but it is what it is. We could be in trouble if they are able to reanimate this Arden, get the Vibrance back, and then kind of slam our face in. I think That's just something that this Goblin deck... I mean, the Goblin deck is kind of cute, right? If you're playing Goblins, you're not playing it because it's going to be a Tier 1 deck. You're playing Goblins because you kind of like the cool Goblin art on these wicked cards, especially this one. This is just super sweet. Ooh, they have the Awaken the Honored Dead to murder my Mischief. Oh my god. This is a Goblin. Things you don't realize until they happen. The Boggart Cursecrafter triggered because of that awesome enchantment being a Goblin. You know what? I'm just putting out the entire crew. We are flooding the field. If they have something, they have something. Right now, if they wipe us, they're going to take at least 6 points of damage. If they don't wipe us this turn, then I think we can attack in and we'll be in a pretty good position to maybe sneak something out. Formidable Speaker is good, but it's not going to be good enough, right? What do they grab? Do they grab the Kavaro? I guess they grab the Kavaro. And then the Kavaro is going to allow them to bring back the Arden. And with the Arden, oh, my friend, I don't think that's what you want. Oblivious Bookworm. So they have 2 blockers. That's a problem for me. I can take out one of them, but I can't take out both of them. Okay, Fanatical Firebrand is pretty good. That was a card I was actually thinking about in the last game. Now, what do I do here? Do I use the Stadium Headliner to smoke one of these creatures? I think so. So we attack in. We mobilize one. We use this to smoke probably this one because why not? It's going to deal 1 damage to the opponent. They're going to take a bunch of damage from all of these creatures. They can kill something. Sure. That's going to be 1 more point of damage. And if they end up wiping the board, they die to the Cursecrafter. That's why I like this deck. This deck is just, you know, it sets it up so it puts the opponents in very weird positions where they have a very hard time. Like, they have to remove the Cursecrafter before they're able to do anything else. What are they going to do with this? They pitch the Harvester of Misery, and they grab... What do you grab? I swear, my opponents today are like molasses. I have seen the rope so many times from opponents. Y'all have to make decisions a little bit faster, please. Please, please, please. Okay, they have the Wistfulness. Wistfulness, I haven't read this one. This is one of the more expensive ones, I think. When it enters, you can just exile target artifact or enchantment, or you can draw 2 cards and discard a card, of course. Opponent, please. You have 3 cards. There are not a lot of decisions to make. Boom, boom, boom. I'm not sure. That was a weird one. I feel like the opponent could have done things a little bit differently in that game with the speaker, but okay, next one. Game number something. 4 or 5, depending on how I edit things up. Opening hand looks okay. We get our first taste of Krenko Mob Boss. This boy, pretty awesome Goblin that everybody knows about. Everybody's favorite Goblin commander, I'm sure, right? But it's the first time it has shown up in our set of games. We get to lead off with a Stadium Headliner against a Badger Molekub deck. Playing black. I don't know what the Golgari version of it looks like specifically. I still haven't changed my dog. Been meaning to put in... I think I have a Krenko pet. They commune with beavers. I like this card. Man, this guy... Those are some defined abs. My eyes always seem to go right for the abs. Also, the art on that face is a little bit funky, but it is what it is. They have a Deep Cavern Bat, so they're going to be looking to take something from us. I don't know what that would be. What do we want to get on the field? Do we want to just get our Boggart onto the field? I think so. We play this out. We don't attack in with our Headliner. I don't want to run it into a Gene Pollinator, a 2-booty Gene Pollinator robot insect. Of course, it has 2 life. And if they only play out the Deep Cavern Bat this turn, they take our Mischief, I suppose. What do you take here? If you're... Maybe you take the Fanatical Firebrand, actually. Which, if they do, I'm kind of fine with that, because that'll give me the opportunity to probably get the Boggart Mischief on the field next turn. Just noticing now that this symbol on the side... Oh, it doesn't show up down there. But down here, that leaf, I guess that leaf means it's a kindred spell. Okay. A lot of opponents today making me wait. They're really taking their time with a lot of their decisions, and it's wearing on me. Okay, so now we can Krenko on the next turn if we really want to. Of course, we're going to probably do that. I suppose we get in with the Cursecrafter. We'll hold back the Stadium Headliner. It's fine. But we'll get in for 2 damage, and then we put this onto the field. We curse up our Cursecrafter. We blight up our Cursecrafter, I guess, and then make 2 more of these Goblin boars looking thing. That's a cool Goblin. I really like the art on... I always like the art on Goblins. I actually have a whole bunch of Goblin tokens that I use whenever I make an EDH deck. It's always fun to do that. Everyone's favorite card showing up, the Badger Mole Cub. We can't really get... Well, I can't get rid of it with the Stadium Headliner, I suppose. The damage is already going to be done, though. They have 4 mana this turn. If they're going to put down the Ouroboride, it's going to be this turn. Which, then we have to remove the Ouroboride with that, which I can, but it's not super clean. Oh, Marcus. Marcus, please go faster, Marcus. Enduring Tenacity. That's cool. All right. I approve of the cool factor there. Right. We're just going to slam this down. Krenko onto the field. And we're going to wait a turn. So let's see what damage the opponent can do with 6 mana available to them. Potentially 7 mana, I suppose. And they now have this Enduring Tenacity. Maybe I could just die? If they have the Blood Boy, I guess we die. Which, okay, you know what? I'd be fine with that. They do have the Blood Boy. Bloodthirsty Conqueror, they get in for 2 damage, and they trigger the infinite combo with that. Okay, I can get behind this. So it's a Golgari combo deck where they use the Enduring Tenacity and the Bloodthirsty combo, enabled by Badger Mole Cub to run it out quickly. I can appreciate that. Do you let this run down? We see it, right? All right, it's good enough. It will kill us. GG opponent. Marcus, you took your time to think that one through. Asuka up next. Hopefully we get to see Krenko do something. Maybe Krenko's not meant for this deck. Like, 4 CMC is so expensive these days. Can't keep this. No red mana. This looks a little bit better. Yeah, 4 CMC is very expensive cost. I don't think I can really justify it. Opening hand looks good, but I don't know what I want to keep. Maybe we get rid of the Mischief. Even though it's a really good card, I think probably we're just going to go turn 1. And we got to do this on Goblin. Depending on what they play out, I might go turn 2 Cursecrafter. I might go out Seer Slicer Goblin if we don't have a creature on the field to stop us. That is really bad for me, because what that means is that I don't get any death triggers. Rest in Peace actually kind of just like hoses this deck. Everything will go to exile. This Cursecrafter is now useless. The Boggart's useless. Everything is going to be useless. Good news is, Squelcher onto the field. They're going to be taking 2 damage. Whenever they target their stuff, they can get rid of the Seer Slicer Goblin now. That's fine. Yeah. Okay. So we are against Jeskai Control running main board. Rest in Peace to stop the Kavaro decks. This person has been hurt. They find their land. Oh, we needed them not to find their land. We need to find a land. Desperately. Nope, we find a card that is uncastable. Isn't it fun when it goes that way? Oh, okay, they're down to 13. They're going to have board wipe. Boom, boom. Everything goes to graveyard, or goes to exile, not graveyard, and we are done. We're going to see one more card here, but our deck has absolutely betrayed us. We ran into really good tech, no lands, and we're against a deck that's going to just destroy us. All right. I'm not gonna sit through this one. I'm actually already cooked from that Lessons deck. I can't sit through more opponents taking forever to kill me. Next one. Man, the stuff you see in Best of 1. Main board Rest in Peace on turn 2 is one of the ones that It hurts me so much. We don't have a turn 1, unfortunately, but we do have a good mana, I guess. We do have a little bit of removal. I don't... Is it worth... Is it worth... Yes, I think it is. In this deck, I don't really care about my life total that much. Let's put out the Squelcher. They might have Get Lost for it. Well, it looks like we're against Azoria's control again. Oh, it's a Voice of Victory. Okay. Well, that's not the worst thing because we can get rid of it and we can attack in with the Seer Slicer Goblin, follow it up with the... Sorry, we can get in with the Hexing Squelcher, follow it up with the Seer Slicer Goblin, make a baby, and pray that our board stays the way it is. This might not be Azoria's control. This might be the tempo deck. They have... Okay, so they're going to have to take 2 damage. Do they take the Goblin? Whoa, they take the Seer Slicer. So they are afraid of us putting out a whole bunch of Gobbos. I think I'm okay putting out the Heavy. It's 1 more Goblin onto the field. We get them down to 12. And I think if they miss 1 more land here, they're going to be in big old trouble. Okay. The opponent not sticking around to make me play it out, which I appreciate because, again, I'm running on empty. We got a couple more. I think because these games have been going relatively quickly, I am probably going to go over my normal 7. Just to see the deck. I want to play the deck more to see how it functions. That's the goal here today. We have actually a good opening hand. Man, Blood Crypt. Aren't you happy Blood Crypt is here? Oh, I love you, Blood Crypt. What do you guys think about the old borders, by the way? I'm kind of going back and forth on whether or not I like the old border or not. It's very hard to see what this is when it's just on the field. So I'm not overly fond of it, even though they look kind of cool. They have, of course, their turn 1 Mana Dork into turn 2 Badger Mole Cub, like every good green deck should. It's just the way it is. Okay, we find our lands. I suppose I'm not attacking in, and I suppose I'm killing this, right? Like, I think I have to get rid of it, deal a little bit of damage, but we have to remove the extra mana that they're doing. Although they're making so much mana already. They have 5 mana this turn. No, more than that. 2, 4, 6, 8, 7 mana potentially this turn. But they had no follow-up? That's interesting. I'm gonna throw down the Krenko. Okay. Wait, do they just have 4 Crater Hoofs in their hand? How could they not have anything to play here? Are they just flooded out, maybe? I suppose that could be the case. Okay, maybe we're gonna get a big Krenko turn. Finally, Krenko maybe showing that he can do something. We have a Hex. Okay. So, I suppose we do this. We do this. Do we attack? I don't know. Probably not. I think we just kill the Badger Mole Cub. I feel like they got a really bad hand over there. Yeah, let's murder the Badger Mole Cub. And just pass the turn. Okay. Next turn, we get to Krenko out 6 more babies. Yeah, they have a very nice Leyline Weaver, but if we find a heavy on the next turn, we're going to be really good. Got to make sure I don't skip past this Krenko thing. So Krenko makes a bunch of things. We do not find a heavy, but what we do find is a way of turning on our Soulstone Sanctuary. So I think we just slam, right? Yeah. Okay, so everything goes except you don't go, you don't go, you don't go, you don't go. We slam in with all of these. Boom. Go. Maybe I shouldn't have done the Soulstone Sanctuary. Maybe I should have murdered the Ouroboride with the Stadium Headliner. But I have so much... I mean, this is fine. Even if they have a Crater Hoof Behemoth here, no, Crater Hoof Behemoth probably kills me. But they don't have the mana for it, do they? No, no, no. So Krenko pumping out a whole bunch of babies. Finally get to see Krenko doing something. All right. Okay, I think this one might be my last one. I think what I might actually do, earlier in the video, I talked about the game against the lessons deck and that I might put that out as an extra video. I think what I might do is I might just cut that one out and put it at the back of the video. That's kind of what I'm thinking now. So maybe this is going to be the last game. We'll see how it goes. Probably Dimir, it looks like regular Dimir value, whatever you want to call it. And we might be in trouble, but we do get our Squelcher. We get a double Squelcher possibly against a deck that's going to be playing a lot of spot removal. They can probably just keep tanking this 2 damage, though. It's not a big deal. They probably want to tank the 2 damage because of the Cecil. And yeah, so I think I'm going to put in the regular games, and then at the end of the video, I'm going to circle in the lessons deck, probably at the end of the wrap-up, because it is very long. So if you're interested in seeing a lessons deck kind of pop off and do a crazy thing, and also watch me complain about the lessons deck being the lessons deck, that's a thing for you to watch, I suppose. I'll get down the heavy attack in on the Krenko for 1, sure. And the opponent did return their Cecil, so we don't need to deal with the Cecil flipping quite yet, but we are in kind of big trouble, a bad position against a quick Kaito. Okay, now I don't feel very comfortable attacking in. A little bit more comfortable attacking in. I was going to say they might have the Flash Cat, but seemingly not. Okay, well, we have to attack with this fella. We don't have any choice there, so it runs into that, which is fine. They want to take the damage, okay? Because it flips. Yep. So they're using our heavy against us. We had no choice but to do that. And I guess I'm just going to load up the board as much as I can with these things. And then next turn, we can throw down a Krenko. The heavy's on the board, so the Krenko can automatically throw stuff out. These things can block, right? I don't want to take too much damage. 5 damage is a lot. I'd rather not take 10 damage. Do I want to get rid of Cecil, though? I think it's too risky to try to get rid of Cecil because the opponent is just probably going to remove the thing that I double block with, and I don't see that being a good way of going about things. We do have the Hexing Squelcher on the field, so they cannot counter the Krenko unless they kill the Squelcher, which is sure. Another Preacher. Okay, so we do have kind of an open gate here. And you just kind of go, right? Everything. Do we try to remove the Kaito? Yes? I think so. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 goes at Kaito. And then do I also want to... I think this is fine. Yeah, let's just remove Kaito from the game. They can block 2 of them. I suppose I should have sent 1 more at Kaito. Maybe, because they do have 1 mana open. They could have had a Hex. But I did have the Fanatical Firebrand as a backup there. We make a baby, but we're down to 7. We have lots of blockers, though. We have a good board. We don't have anything that's draining the opponent, but we do have the Boggart Mischief as backup. So they take some damage. Everything they have is protected. Okay, we go to blockers. We have to block. We have to block? They could have another Kaito, which is what I'm a little bit afraid of here. So I think taking 3 is okay. I'd rather keep my mass of goblins on the field. So I think this is how I'm going to play it. We're going to go down just a little bit. They're up to 17. Deep Cavern Bat is a really good card, but we have a huge board here. I don't know what the numbers are. And we can also get rid of the Deep Cavern Bat, actually, with the Fanatical Firebrand. Do I do it now? There's no rush, right? Boggart is... It's so good. It's so good. Okay. What do they have? Oh, that's a mess up. I should have made babies with the Krenko first. You know what? Actually, it's not such a big problem. This is uncounterable because of the awesome Squelcher. We activate this to make a whole bunch of goblins. Tishana's Tidebinder, no! Okay. We make a goblin, so how much damage do I actually have here? I can attack in, it's 2, 4, 6, 12, 13, 14, 15 damage. It's not enough damage because they have to block, or they don't have to block. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 16, 17. Wait. This guy has haste. So let's say we attack in with everything. They are going to block. They have to block, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. There's 6 here, right? 6. I'm so stupid. 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 damage. So if they let it through, they die. If they block anything, they die. I think this is good. I'm pretty sure are there 6 here? There's 6 here, right? I don't know what this X6 is. There must... I hope I did this right. Okay. That's 2 extra damage. Oh, now I'm actually a little bit worried now because I don't know what this 6 is. I think the game might have baited me. I think the game baited me into thinking I had more damage than not because there's X6 here. Okay. What's the... Okay, there is a pile of 6 here. Okay. Whew. Yes. What a tight game at the very end. Oh, man. I don't like how that graphic was looking over here because there's like weird goblin things going on and I don't know what the stack is and I can't actually click on anything. It's weird. Okay. Cool deck opponent. Unfortunately, Demir with Cecil not good enough. Goblins taking it down. All right, so the early draft of this deck feeling pretty good. I love the way it plays. I love the idea of draining the opponent. Mixing these 3 cards together really puts a lot of awkward pressure on the opponent and can make blocking and removing things very difficult for the opponent to figure out. And we just end up doing a lot of damage to the opponent. Of course, there are going to be some bad matchups. If you run into Graveyard Hate or obviously Rest in Peace like we did, you're going to have a really bad time. And if your opponent can just keep efficiently removing your pingers or your Hexing Squelcher or whatever, also things go badly. But of course, that's going to be the way that this deck goes. I think there's still potential here. I love the idea of sacrificing the goblins. Maybe what the deck could benefit from is a sacrifice outlet. Imagine we had Goblin Bombardment in the format. That would be pretty wild, but we can't be dreaming that much. The card that I was a little lukewarm on was actually Krenko Mob Boss, but in those last 2 games, Krenko showing that in the late game, if it does get out, if you do have a heavy, things can get out of control very quickly. You go super wide, and obviously Krenko can do a lot of work. Still, 4 mana is a lot of mana, and I found myself not really getting... I don't know. There were a lot of weird situations with this. I guess it kind of worked out in the end for old Krenko here, but I'm still not entirely sold on him. Everything else I think feels very good in the deck. Just a lot of good aggression, and we go nice and wide. I don't think we really need the Lords. Now, you could definitely build the deck in another way because there are other cards in the format that do pump up your goblins. So if you wanted to go, I should have looked into this beforehand. I can't remember what they're called. Okay, found it. It is the Dropkick Bomber. Yeah, in fact, I don't have it crafted yet. So this is another way that you could go with pumping it up. You can also play the Automaton automaton, changeling one that gives +1/+1 to whatever creature it names. I can't remember what that card is called exactly, but I think between those two, you do have technically lords that you could be putting onto the field and going that way. We can go find it. I think it's a changeling, and I think it costs 3 mana. Is it not a changeling? Oh, of course, it's sitting here right at the start, and I'm missing and jumping over it. You could also play this as a pseudo lord, but I don't think that's like the way to go about this deck. I think giving +1/+1 to your goblins is cute and good, especially if you're making a wide board, which you kind of are with the Howl Squad Heavy, and the Seer Slicer Goblin. Yeah, sure, and then you play into your Krenko, but I think it would be a different looking deck. I kind of like the way this deck plays, so I would love to see a little bit more refinement of this, and I'm sure we'll see Goblins coming back in a future video, because I had a lot of fun playing it, and I think these new cards are actually pretty sweet. That's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about the lessons deck that I'm going to put right after this wrap up. You're not going to go into the outro. You're going to go into the lessons deck now. I think that's the best way for me to do it. If you stick around to see the entirety of the lessons deck, man, oh man, that deck is really aggravating to play against, to say the least. Otherwise, we did pretty well. So we played how many? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 games. We went 6-3. The one game was that lessons deck. Overall, pretty good performance from the Goblins. So, take care. Sarang Ipana. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care for now. Bye-bye. I had to go and grab my Goblin Guides. This is the card that I was forgetting. 4 Goblin Guides right here. These are the original printing, I think, of the Goblin Guide card. And this is... I remember spending or putting so much effort into chasing these cards down. I remember actually like going to multiple card stores in Canada and like, do you have Goblin Guides? Do you have any Goblin Guides? And I picked up like one here, one there. At the time, Goblin Guide was a very popular card, and it was around the time that Saffron Olive popularized 8-whack goblins. This hand is slow, and I don't have anything that I can blight onto unless I put up the Howl Squad Heavy first. I do have the turn 1 Hex, and my mana's okay, but you know what? Let's push it. Let's push the deck. Let's see what it can do with the Mischiefs. And then, of course, if you guys are aware of how things have gone in Magic, like, do you use Requiting Hex to kill this otter? That feels really bad, doesn't it? You got to get rid of it, I think. Modern Masters 3 came out, and they printed this version of the Goblin Guide. And of course, I have 4 copies of this because at that time I was just playing a ton of Magic, and I just happened to open a good number of them. Let's put out the headliner. Sure. It's some aggression. We have the Hex for maybe a Grand, but I think we're in trouble. But yeah, there are 8 Goblin Guides once upon a time, worth a good amount of money. Now, I'm kind of scared to even look up how much Goblin Guide is worth. It's probably like $1. Which actually is a kind of a cool question. So first and foremost, if you guys can help me grow, sub up if you haven't done so already. But more importantly, you know what I would love to hear is down in the comments, what Magic cards have you been burned on? I think that's kind of an interesting question to ask. And yeah, what card did you overpay for and now the value has completely tanked? Please let me know some of your stories. We got to go in with the Stadium headliner. We made the 1/1 warrior, right? Warrior. And then we got to sacrifice it to the Boggart Mischief. So that's a pretty good little synergy there. Now our goblins are going to be dealing damage whenever they die. If we get the second Mischief on the field, that's going to help. We can also put out the Hexing Squelcher to avoid Eloquentia, which the opponent maybe is holding up. We also have Cavern of Souls, so we are we are not being countered here. Okay. It's probably fine to just attack in. They're going to do something. Okay, there is the Firebending Lesson. Unfortunately, we don't have any way of dealing with their graveyard. I'm not playing forgetting the name of the card. The one that would exile their graveyard after they sacrifice something. A little unfortunate that the opponent did that, because now I have to make the choice if I want to put out the other Mischief. The thing is, they probably have Quencha still, and they are able to cast it out because they do have the artist talent leveled up. So I could put out the heavy, and the heavy would... I should have put out the heavy before. I forgot that it's at the beginning of combat on your turn, create the 1/1 Goblin. That would have been so much better on the previous turn. I think I'm still going to do it despite, or like, even though I kind of messed that up. We would have been in a little bit of a better position otherwise. But we're still holding up the Hex, so if they do have Grand, okay, well, there it is. Maybe it should have been the Squelcher now that, you know, you're kind of thinking it is this deck. This deck has a ton of spot removal, so putting out the Squelcher so that they're taking 2 extra damage every time they destroy something, 3 extra damage in a way. Yeah, it'll be good. Although, this exiles. Of course it exiles. You know what? Cards that grind my gears. This thing right here absolutely bothers me. Land? Not a land. Okay. So let's attack in for 2. See what the opponent does. They have the more firebending lessons, of course. They would have reacted to the Hexing Squelcher and blown up one of these 1/1s when we put that out onto the stack. So there was no... We're not losing 2 life here. Or not losing 2 damage that we could have possibly had. But we will put out the Hexing Squelcher. Let's hope that they're sitting on some... Let's hope they're sitting on... What's it called? The Quencha, so that they can't get any value out of this 2 mana that they have available to them. They're just also sitting there on 2 cards. They haven't found their Monument to Endurance, so they're having a hard time like getting anything going. A Seer, so yeah, that's cool. Take 2 damage. The Squelcher did what the Squelcher's meant to do. And they accumulate some wisdom as well, which, ouch. So, Strategic Betrayal is the card I was thinking of earlier. I wish I had a Strategic Betrayal so that I could have exiled their graveyard. Letting them draw so many cards is painful. So they're down to 9, they're down to 8, and we get to put a Goblin onto the field with a baby Goblin. And if we get this other Mischief on the field, we're going to be in really good shape. Abandoned Attachments, I'm not... I mean, I am worried about it because this is value for them. They get to cycle through their hand. If they find Iroh's Demonstration right now, we're obviously cooked. Okay, it's a Storm Chasers, which is fine. That's something that I can hit with the Hex if I really need to. They seem... Why are they stuck on 3 lands? Are they... They haven't been tossing lands, have they? Oh, yeah, they have been. So they have kept some mana open. Let's start with this. We'll remove the Otter and see how they react. They only have 1 mana open. 1 mana open means that it could be... Okay, I think you just attack, right? Okay, we attack. It could be removal, it could be a quench. So they do have a Firebending Lesson. Okay. So I guess what I do now, since they are shields down, I take the opportunity to put out the Mischief. This is going to create 2 more Goblins. If they wipe the board, they die, right? They're down to 3. I don't think their deck gains life. So, hey, look at that. The Goblins deck putting a Lessons deck into a really weird position, even though they're just sitting here with so much removal. Like, what are they going to do now? Going to draw a bunch of cards. Good on ya, opponent. We are at 47 cards to their 34. There is their Monument to Endurance, but it doesn't matter. I suppose they could bounce the Boggart Mischief, but not with 1 mana. That's not gonna. It's not gonna save them. Do I have a Goblin emote? I don't think I have one loaded up. Too bad. Should I give him the old winky? I don't have the wink face on here. When did I? It's a real shame. Look at this. Draw, discard, draw, discard. Don't you love playing against Lessons decks? Clearly dead on board. Ooh, what are you going to do? You're going to cycle 2 more cards, draw 3 more cards? All right. Do your thing, opponent. Keep doing it. Oh, I forgot to change my dog. I gotta get Squee over here. These are the things that I have time to think about while I'm playing against a Lessons opponent, because every single turn of theirs takes so long. I was actually watching MTG Goldfish playing pre-modern, and Richard remarked that he really misses formats where opponents' turns only take 20 seconds. And yes, I completely agree. It would be so nice to play in a format where opponents only take 20 seconds to do their turns. But I guess, hey, I did say they were dead on board. They are technically not dead on board anymore because they are bouncing one of the tokens so it cannot die. Okay, we can only get in for 2. And we get to throw this onto the field. We are up to max speed, but I have to sit through more of this. Why, Lessons? Why are you the way you are? Combustion technique does not kill the Cursecraft. It exiles it. So technically the opponent is still staying alive. This is so agonizing. I'm so sorry. I don't know. Let me know what you... I'd love to see some more comments down below about your opinions about the Lessons decks. Are you as equally frustrated against them as I am? Like, Lessons plus Kavaro are just really making this format really unfun on 2 different angles. And I don't know. I have a lot of time to sit here and think about why the formats feel the way they feel, because the opponents take so long to do their turns. Okay. I mean, playing cards is fun. They're down to 19 cards. 46. So since we've drawn 1 card from our deck, they have gone through probably like 15 cards, maybe even more, from their deck. That's an absolutely balanced format. Okie doke. We have drawn nothing but lands, so they could have 2 into the Floodmaw, I suppose. That's what they would need, right? Into the Floodmaw. This does not save them. That does not save them. In ways, I definitely appreciate that the opponent is fighting this until, tooth and nail, right down to the last thing. You shouldn't just give up, but this deck doesn't have any life gain. It is in a weird position where everything they kill on our side of the field is going to kill them. So, like, I get it. Maybe they're doing a quest. They got to draw 100 cards, and that's going to be their quest for today. They're down to 12. Another combustion technique is good. Hey, they're staying alive. If they have another combustion technique, I'm actually maybe in trouble here. Hey, and if they are able to win through this, hats off to the Lessons deck. Okay, boom. Just a cool 16 points of damage directly to that poor thing. That's unbelievable, right? All right. I guess they're not dead. When you draw... Okay, Wizards. If you want people to enjoy your formats, if you want people to continue to spend money on new cards that are coming out, like Lorwyn Eclipsed, get rid of this. Get rid of this trash. Nobody thinks that this is fair. Nobody thinks this is fun, except for the person who's playing it in the exact moment that they're playing it. That's it. And we're just sitting here. The opponent's going to do a ton of damage to me. They got the Monument to Endurance that's going ticking, ticking, ticking. And if I draw another land off the top, I'm dead. Like, the only card that can really save me is probably the Heavy. That's really what I need. Or my Goblin that does 1 damage, ping damage. I can't remember the name of it now. But hey, we'll see what the top of our deck is looking like. They have... Actually, they might just be able to kill me before I can even do anything, right? So, hats off to Sards. But this is... and impressive. I'll say a very impressive way of winning. It's outrageous that they were able to dig through their deck as much as they did, and they found every single combustion. Of course they find every single combustion. They're down to 5 cards in their deck. For real? Okay. Do they get another monument here? Monument trigger? They get 1 more. So they could potentially have... Are they going to do 3 damage to me, or are they going to make... Oh, they have 2... Of course, they have all the monument triggers. Draw a card. Do they have... They don't have the ability to make mana. So they're tapped out. They do have 2 blockers. So I need a Heavy or the ping Goblin. We have... Oh, they have 1 mana left. 45 cards in hand. Actually, we're dead. Because they attack for 3, and I'm sure that this 1 mana will allow them to do something. And it was a Boggart thing. You know what? Good game, opponent. Oh, they didn't have the last thing. I'll let them have the kill. They found all 4. They have 1 card left in their deck. GG, opponent. Wizards, please. You know, you don't have to get rid of lessons. But I think probably just get rid of Monument, I think, is probably the card to get rid of. It's the most enably card for this deck. And I'm so glad I got to waste like 15 minutes of everyone's time. I'm sorry.